There's a lot of schools of architecture that have instituted design build programs in their curriculum all over the country, all over the world. Very few, if any, have a facility like East Hills for us to do this sort of thing. There's 68,000 square feet of construction space, warehouse space. And this allows us to do things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. It allows us to prefabricate pieces that we can build here and then take into a community and test them out as prototypes. It allows us to work in inclement weather, in the dark, in various ways. What I always tell people is that doing this kind of work allows a student to exercise a portion of their brain that they wouldn't be able to exercise otherwise. Because it allows you to see things that you wouldn't otherwise see. It allows you to think things you otherwise wouldn't think. It allows you to, in real ways, kind of like touch real materials, understand what it takes to make something, to understand ideas about, or kind of concept of precision and tolerance and space that it requires to actually fabricate something. Plus, I suppose another thing, making physical prototypes and putting them in a community allows an idea to be put to the test. So something you think might be true actually gets proven or not when you put it out in the world and somebody gets to test it. Wyandotte County has a lot of problems that show up when you look at the statistics about healthiness, things like diabetes and all that sort of stuff. But it also has a lot of opportunities. There's some really cool stuff there. There's some really nice parks. And what's nice about the Levee Trail is that it's something that is just getting off the ground right now. And we are the first designers to actually have a crack at it, in the sense of figuring out how we're going to publicize it, how we're going to brand it, how we're going to develop the graphics for it, how we're going to let people know that it's there.
This project is happening at the Armourdale Levee Trail by 18th Street and Kansas Avenue in Kansas City, Kansas, in the Armourdale neighborhood. This project came about because of the hard work that Healthy Communities Wyandotte is working on to promote access to trails and walkability within Wyandotte County as part of their 2020 campaign, and as part of an effort to get people using the built environment and to have a better sense of active living within their own neighborhoods, not necessarily going to the gym or finding time to fit into their busy lives, but just having an amenity in their neighborhood that allows for them to be physically active. With this studio, with Niels Gore's studio, the work here is really about helping literally build capacity by building signage and wayfinding elements that are hopefully encouraging people to use the Armourdale Levee Trail. My role right now as a doctoral student is a researcher with the Community Health Council of Wyandotte County. So right now, I'm researching food access. But as soon as we start talking about food access, we start talking about, well, what's the built environment like? How do people access food? Is it through driving their own car? Sometimes. But for people that are food insecure, you also have a reliance upon public transportation. You have a reliance upon sidewalks, upon different elements of the built infrastructure. And through meetings that are trying to get at that issue, to encourage a more connected, more sustainable city, to provide more people access to healthy food, we're having conversations with other people who say, healthy food's what you're worrying about, but we also worry about how people are going to be more physically active. So in that role with the Community Health Council of Wyandotte County, we're working on a grant from the CDC to provide support that design can help improve people's lives, especially as it relates to their health outcomes.
Armourdale Trail, we don't have access to our rivers. The rivers we have industry and they've been closed off forever, for a long ways back. And so this trail is an opportunity for people to be next to the river. There are fields of sunflowers, there's lines of cottonwood trees. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a really beautiful space. And so I think like that access to nature and to natural areas is something that I think is a real big draw of it. And I mean, I work in the health department. I mean, I'm always like, it's the healthy thing to do. It's the healthy choice.
I think about my own experience over the years. You know, I've been biking Wyandotte County for all these years and hoping that there'd be some improvement to the infrastructure, some built environment, some things that would encourage more people to get on their bikes and ride. And the only way that it's going to be safe for those of us who ride on the streets is if there's more people on their bikes, even if it's riding on trails. We've got to raise the awareness of bikes both as transportation and recreation. And to get the trail going, get people out on the trail, riding bikes with their families, because you're not going to get families out riding their bikes on the streets like some of us do for transportation and recreation. We're going to inspire people to get out there with their kids because it's safe, they're away from the cars, they're experiencing nature, watching eagles on the island across from the trail, bald eagles. I just am really excited that that's a possibility now. And I think once we get that word out to people, there's just not many people who know about it right now. Once we get the word out to young families and their children that this is a great opportunity to expose your kids to history of Wyandotte County, which is right there along the trail, and also the nature that's just right up against the industrial there. I think it's inspiring. I think people will really take advantage of it once we get there.